All right.
Yes.
Topic Tuesday. We pulled up an article which was in preparation before we went live that night with Rob and Mindy. And this was all about how the warmer weather is right around the corner and it's going to be time to fire up those grills, even though we don't really fire them up here in this house, but could be time to fire up the grill. Seasoning is very important when cooking, but there's also one seasoning in particular that members of our community really need to kind of shy away from, and that would be salt.
Mm.
Don't really want a lot of salt. So in Healthline, there was an article that was titled, What Happens If You Eat Too Much Salt? And it was written by Alina Petre. Hope I'm saying that right. She shares that salt is actually made up of around 40% sodium and 60% chloride. So it's commonly used to add flavor to foods or to actually help preserve them. And sodium is a mineral which is essential for optimal muscle and nerve function. But together with chloride, it also helps your body maintain proper water and mineral balance. Yet, despite these essential functions, ingesting too much salt can actually have that unpleasant effect both in the short term and long term. So let's take a quick look at what some of those are. So short-term effects of too much salt. We have all experienced this at some point in time. Water retention. So if you're holding back a lot of water, one of the first things your doctor is going to ask you is, are you taking in too much salt? Can we make a modification in your diet? They don't just immediately throw medication at you. They want to know a little bit more about your diet. Let's talk about that. Like if I decide to have Mexican food or Chinese food, and I don't specifically say hold back some of that salt, it's innately in a lot of these seasoning blends.
Yes.
I'm going to expect that probably my ring is going to fit a little tight. So I'm really going to want to ingest a lot of water to kind of get a lot of that extra added salt out of my body. It can cause a rise in blood pressure. It doesn't mean that it's going to be this. I can't tell you how much it's going to cause as a rise because everybody's different, which Diane and I often say. But these are the short-term effects. So it's not going to adversely impact you for weeks or days. It's going to possibly impact your blood pressure on the immediate end.
Mm.
And it can cause you to be very thirsty. So if you're feeling very thirsty, this is outside of the 90-degree days, take a look at your diet. See, could this be why? Obviously, have conversations with your physicians because everybody's different and let them make the final determining factor. But salt is usually the first suspect because that's part of your short-term effects. Long-term, it can raise your blood pressure. That's the number one thing long-term that intaking too much salt can do. It can also increase the possibility of stomach cancer risk. It also has potential effects of a link between heart disease and premature death. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the potential effects of too much salt that's in your diet, you should click this article. And then we did remind everybody to watch the live event we had, which you can find on our YouTube channel. Here you'll have a chance to be able to watch that, which was very entertaining and very educational. Diane, let's talk about salt in your diet.
So tough.